This is Mario Central, here with you today to complete the rest of the Shadow Pokemon Factory with our new Pokemon in tow. That is why I'm a little extra stoked today. We can go through this without any sort of problem whatsoever. Now that we have no worries with this team, man, oh man, this will go by a lot more quicker. Thank you, Bluebee and Crow's Effect, for finally reaching the final evolutions. Imagine had I went to Tyranitar or something, because I could have. Larvitar is in this game. That would have taken to level 50. Whew! Imagine had I actually decided to go with Nuzleaf to level 49 so it learns extra sensory. Yeah, it's a good thing I didn't do that. I will admit, I think extra sensory is an excellent move for a Nuzleaf or a Shiftry to learn, because you think about it, it covers the psychic, the fighting weakness and the poison weakness at the same time. That's brilliant, right? And you don't really have that capability in any other move for Leaf, because he can't learn Earthquake. Well, I think he can, but obviously right now, why would I give Earthquake to him when I clearly have someone that uses it a lot better, right? So that was the decision there. I was just like, well, I'm not going to train the Nuzleaf all the way for 49 just for that. I've got other good TMs here as well, like Brick Break and Aerial Ace and Rock Tomb. In fact, Rock Tomb, it's Ice, Fire, Bug, Flying, and those are all weaknesses of Shiftry, so might as well just give it Rock Tomb, right? It makes a lot more sense. Now, as you saw there, I decided to just bolster my Pokemon moves just a tad bit. I gave Shiftry Brick Break, I gave Flygon, Hyper Beam, and Fire Blast, because I feel those are going to be better moves for it. Shiftry, I was always debating whether or not to teach it Brick Break or not, and I decided, well, I might as well give it another advantage against other dark types that it might be facing, because guess what, you know, you're not going to have anything to really hit dark types with, especially guys like Houndoom. If I just have a dark move and a grass move, well, guess what, he's just going to outright destroy me, so I need Brick Break. Although I do have Rick and Rock Tomb, Brick Break's a nice secondary move to have. It's very powerful, so I might as well. I think I might replace it with Aerial Ace down the line, but I'll think about it. I don't think I'm going to do so, because I do like that combination, but I think I might, because the thing is, it doesn't have a coverage for fighting weakness right now. So couple it with that, with the power to get boosted speed under the sunshine, and Shiftry is going to become quite the powerhouse on my team, as you would guess. The other reason I gave, obviously, Flygon Fire Blast, well, I need the man to hit against ice. That is his ultimate weakness, and having the sun up with him especially is going to take down every ice type possible, because Flygon is a lot more powerful than you would think. He has very good special attack, but mostly attack, but he does have good special attack, which helps it out in this regard. And having Hyper Beam is just so good for it for a last-ditch move. Like, again, against those ice types, against even the dragon types, right? Just in case I just need a last-ditch effort, he pulls out that Hyper Beam, boom! Destroys him in one hit. It's what Flygon does best. I was thinking maybe I should teach Sunny Day to him, but I decided I think he would be better equipped if I had used it with Arcanine, because Arcanine, well, he is a fire type. No! All that red means he's a fighting type. Actually, that would pass. That would pass. I wouldn't be surprised. But I decided I think I should just leave it for him, because he is faster than Shiftry. That is one thing I have to have. So if I'm going to team those two up, someone has to be faster than Shiftry, and he is. So it works out perfectly. He gains Fire Boost with Fire Blast, and it just overall makes the fight a lot more easier. They can cover each other's weaknesses, and so forth. Instead of having Mr. Crow's Effect and Shiftry together, I decided Arcanine and Shiftry together would make a much more better team, which is why when I do get Sunny Day, which I cannot right now, I will give it to James to solve its fourth move, because that was one thing I wasn't sure whether or not to teach it, either Bite or Sunny Day, and I decided, why not Sunny Day? Cypher Peon Targ has sent out Tangela. Targ. I'm sorry, that's just, I'm telling you, all of these villain names are pretty interesting. Targ, I mean, Snidle, Smarten, because he's clearly intelligent. They think of some real creative names going on here. But that's my whole reasoning behind, again, the whole Arcanine moveset. I think that would just benefit him as well. Having extra extreme speed as well is going to help him, so just, it's going to be interesting to see how this team evolves, because I will admit this to you, even though I have played this game multiple times. I mean, I've played this game 2 to 3 times, right? I will tell you this, I have never ever done Ore Coliseum. I will honestly admit that to you right now. I haven't done it all the way through. I did Mount Battle. I have done that. I did Mount Battle all the way through. It was a tough challenge, mind you, but I did it all the way through. That was only during my second playthrough of this game, so that wasn't too long ago. And that's something I will admit. I've never done it all the way through. I've done it, I think, up to about maybe the 4th or 5th time, then I stopped. And that's where I want to just get back into this LP, and this is the whole existence of this LP too, is so that I can actually be encouraged enough to finish the game. Not that it isn't encouraging enough, but it was getting so hard to the point, because again, I didn't know Pokemon very well back then, right? So I didn't really give it a true attempt ever since then, and that's why, you know, this LP even encourages me further to do everything, because, well, I'm going to be doing things that I haven't done before. It was kind of like Coliseum. You know, in Coliseum, I had played the game about 2 or 3 times before I did the LP, and I never actually did any of the after mission stuff. I did a few things like complete the Coliseums, but I never actually went to Deep Coliseum, nor did I face your rival Thane, right? The guy at the very end, the super secret boss in Pokemon Coliseum. I had never done that until I actually did the LP. It was interesting, you know? Like, I knew, as I said, when I was doing that video, I actually had never done it before. It was kind of blind, but at the same time, I had known some of his Pokemon, right? I knew he was going to have a Shadow Togetic. I knew he was going to have a Houndoom of sorts or whatever, because guess what? I did I did attempt that fight way early on in my Pokemon days, so I remembered some things of it, just not everything, so it was partially blind. But here we go, trying to capture Tangela and Butterfree. Enough rambling on. Let's get to some actual facts here, Mario Central. You know, you gotta really stop doing that, man. No, that is what I do best. Gosh darn it. But we have already captured Tangela. Well, you want to know what I think about him? I think Tangela sucks. Yeah, he's pretty bad. You know why I don't really like him? Is the fact that it's just kind of similar to Golduck, how it's more of an offensive water, which is strange, because, again, water moves weren't classified to offensive until 4th generation, right? Or the certain types of moves. And it's the same with Tangela. All of its moves that it's basically gonna learn is special moves, and it has zero well, it doesn't have the worst special attack. Actually, I'm not even that sure. You know what? Never mind. I have no knowledge of Tangela that much, but I know it's not that great until it gets to a Tangrowth. Tangrowth is a beast. That I know is a beast. I don't know about its special attack or not, but I know it has an absolute monster defense. I know Tangela has good defense, but that's all it really does. Otherwise, it's a subpar Pokemon. It needed an evolution badly, and it got one in Generation 4, so you should wait until then. Basically, it's one of those Pokemon that, even though you may think it might hold up, it won't. It simply will not. I think Tangela is much more better when it evolves. It's not going to hold up on its own, especially not him or Luvdisc or any one of those single evolution Pokemon. There are some that can, but not everyone. And Butterfree as well is one of those bug types that you would find early on in the game, and you would be like, "Whoa, look at that! It's a butterfly! Oh, I gotta own one. It's so cute." I know, it's one of those generic bug types you always find at the beginning of the game, and usually the generic bug types don't ever end up being used, like Dustox and those two, right? Dustox and the what is the other one called? See, I hardly use them, so I don't even remember the names. Good job. I'm telling you now, I'm gonna end this recording, and then the moment I finish, you'll hear the name come out. I bet you. Beautifly! Yes! I did it! Oh my god. But you got Beautifly, you got those, you got this man right here, Butterfree, you got Beedrill, and they're all generic bug types. They're not really that great, in my opinion. So it's you, is it? The one who's been causing a 14% loss in manufacturing productivity. Ah, you're the kid that dropped in on us at the SS Libra. I see now. You know far too much more about Cypher than I imagined. If nothing's done about you, there's a 98% chance likelihood that this factory and the Shadow Pokemon will go down. In that event, the danger to Cypher goes up a whopping 54%. That's critically bad news. I suppose we'll have to coax you into giving up the fight right here. Oh, we're facing the smart man himself, Snidle. And all his crazy numbers. Well, you know what I say, Snidle? There is 100% chance that you are going to lose, because I have not lost to this point. I have not had any bloopers. I have not had any outtakes. So we are going to do this right here. Let's do it. There's 100% chance, and I am confident in that. There is no 98, 99, no, none of that crap. No, it's 100% sure that you are going to lose, because my James is too good and Shedinja loses on one hit. Shedinja is always one of those interesting Pokemon, eh? Safe from everything but a couple of moves. It's definitely one of those interesting Pokemon that you could sub in and be like, well, if you don't have that typing, that's too bad for you. That's one of the more interesting bug types. But as I said before, Butterfree, Beedrill, Beautifly, Dustox, those guys I'd never really recommend because they're not all that great. I can see people using Beedrill a little bit, and I can see people using maybe Dustox. Beautifly and Butterfree with its terrible typing of Bug and Flying, you know how much I hate that typing. I really don't like it. I guess with Butterfree you can have Sleep Powder and stuff, and that could be incredibly annoying. But I consider Beautifly to be the worst of the four. I don't know, I guess that's just my opinion, but I guess everyone has their own opinion, right? Because I'd be interested to see what you guys would think is probably like the worst bug type. And not counting like the obvious ones, right? I'm just talking about those four, specifically. James got it all! Darn it! I was hoping that I was going to be able to attack the Bravo with Iron Tail, but of course, you know, that isn't going to happen. He's just going to keep missing Wobbuffet, and that is just great, because I don't even want him to attack Wobbuffet in the first place. Thank goodness Athena got rid of him for me. Darn it, James, you gotta getting stopped. Lost in Encore. Just because a crowd's cheering you on doesn't mean you have to do it. You don't have to succumb to peer pressure, my friend. You've got Nick, and you've got the luxury ball. That's all you need. You got the comfort in the ball, man. You should be listening to me at all times. Don't listen just because you think you're being applauded by the crowd, because you're not. You're not. Just think about it. It's a deep thought. Don't do it. I guess I'll switch him out right now because I don't want him to keep using Iron Tail and accidentally killing Magneton. Even though Magneton has spectacular defense. At this point in time, man, after killing that Shelter, I really don't want to take any chances. There's no way. I am never, ever going to use anything that's even remotely close to damaging it halfway. I will make sure to use basically the moves that would be not very effective against it, if I have one. The thing is, I'm not going to always have one, so that's the thing. Oh, darn you! But the good thing here is that I have an electric. I'm not sure if I should attack it with Ms. Fox or Athena. So maybe I should just put it to sing with Athena and then probably have Ms. Fox attack it. Yeah, I guess that would work. But going on Magneton here, Magneton is a good Pokemon. Steel and Electric is one of those typings. That's pretty... It's okay. Actually, no, you know what? I don't really like the typing that much. It's... Now that I think about it, it has a 4 times effectiveness to ground, right? It's affected by fighting, fire, I mean, it just gets so much more weaknesses, you know? It doesn't even counter any of the weaknesses that the Electrics or the Steels have, so it's not really the greatest. I think it becomes extremely good when it becomes Magnezone, and especially when in 4th generation it introduces Levitate. Oof! This thing, you already take out that 4 times weakness, and that thing can take so much damage. It's impressive. Like, Magneton is decent. I give you that. It is usable. It's not like it's completely unusable, but it's not one of those great Pokemon, but it becomes an excellent Pokemon when it gets to Magnezone, man. I absolutely love Magnezone. He is awesome. He takes hits so well. Everything but Earthquake, right? And then you can also be cheap in the 4th generation because I think they introduce items like making you invulnerable to its weaknesses, right? Like you can give it a move that item that will make it invulnerable to ground moves and things like that. So you can make it even more cheap, is the thing. That is why I hate Electros. Darn you! I loved using him, but I hate facing him because there's absolutely no weakness to it. That is one of the better Pokemon to not have any weaknesses. Like that's honestly, between him, Spiritomb, and Sableye, I think Electros is the top, because he has no weaknesses, and he could pretty much use any move, and he's pretty strong, so I think he's the better of the three. But now we get into this last fight here, hoping to go to the top floor. Yep. Because I am hopeful that we will go to the top floor, and we keep mixing in our F's there, so that's why it came out that way. Darn my speech. It happens too much. Aha! Take that, Giraffe Rick. Man, this team is just gelling together really, really well. Like, I will admit, usually when I play Pokemon games, right, this was the case for Pokemon Coliseum. I usually pick Pokemon that I wouldn't normally pick, right? That I haven't tried out yet, and I've heard is good, or I've heard that maybe this is usable, right? I do that a lot, so I've never actually made a great team, or a super team, which is why I think one of you asked me, what is the ultimate team to make NXD and Coliseum? Well, you know what? I am going to get to that eventually. I'm going to have to really think that one through. Because I'll tell you what, I'm not a Pokemon expert of sorts, but I would have to think that one through because I really haven't made a good team. Even this team, it has its risks. Like, you think about it, everyone here is sort of weak to Earthquake. I mean, you got James who's weak to it, Jolteon who's weak to it, Athena and Bluebeat don't necessarily take it all that well. So, I mean, it's a bit of a problem. But I'm using very generic Pokemon. Like, I'm using Water, Electric, Grass, and Water, and Water. Did I say Water twice? I did, or Fire, right? I'm using very generic typings because I just wanted that since I was so distant in my previous LP, right? I used all sorts of typings. Dark, Fighting, Bug. Like, I went really off the wall with that one. The only generic one I used was the starter Pokemon, Bayleaf, but that was it. Otherwise, you know, I just felt like I should just throw in a bunch of generic Pokemon. People that use a bunch of these guys, because I mean, I know people use Arcanine a lot. I know probably none of you do, but I know people use Gardevoir a lot. I know people use Walrein a lot. So I've chosen a lot of generic Pokemon, but that's why I'm still thinking of what the best team to possibly make in both games is. So I haven't totally ignored you, my friend. It's just I'm taking a long time to think of one. I also have just been busy doing other things, but don't worry, I will get back to you. I'm just thinking about it because I've never actually thought of making like a super powerful team. It's never come across my mind, so I'm actually gonna answer that to you, but just give me some time. I have to finish these things as well, but we'll be back next time, guys, as we take on the top floor, and hopefully that guy doesn't see us over there because he's clearly... Oh, that's great! His back is turned. Alright then, we can just sleuth right on through. Thank you all for joining me. This is Mario Central, signing off.